joined now by the journalist Yasmin Alabai-Brown, who's opposed to the wearing of the veil, and Kiran Daurka, who is an employment lawyer at Slater Gordon. I should say that we did invite the General Medical Council and the British Medical Association to come and tell us what they think, but both of them declined. I mean, Yasmin Alabai-Brown, there are those who say, this is Britain, we like to think it's a free country. People can wear what they like.
No, they can't. We stop hoodies from going into many places. We don't allow men and women with motorbike helmets going into. We have dress codes. You know, a girl in a bikini couldn't have been tried in that court. She just couldn't have. She would have had to go home and put on some decent clothes.
I think the naked rambler managed to get tried naked.
Well, yes, well, you know, they've put him back into prison again, haven't they, or something. But it's just a fallacy that we can all wear what we want in all situations. We can't. There are social constraints on all of us.
But this isn't inappropriate in the sense that it's not a bikini. It is a kind of dress that women are choosing to wear.
Not all of them are choosing it. There are at least 3 schools in this country where girls of 11 now are put into full burqas. Is that freedom? Are they not just using freedom to promote really deep unfreedom? I think we have to really look at this much more critically.
Okay, but Kiran, doesn't it really come down to who decides? I mean, who has the power in our society to say you have to dress in a certain way? I mean, is it your employer? Is it the government? Is it, you know, the NHS? Is it?
Yeah, laws are often brought in as a reaction to society, but the fact is that to bring in such a general piece of legislation or guidance for employees to say nobody can wear this type of outfit, it's a very heavy-handed approach. The numbers of women who actually choose or who wear the niqab in the UK is proportionately very low. So to be having this debate, to be having this discussion, seems to be very, very heavy-handed.
But you do have a clash, it seems to me, because I mean we have got some guidelines that were sent to us by the GMC. And what they say is you must give patients the information they want, you must be considerate to those clothes, and when you're on duty be readily accessible to patients and colleagues seeking information, and you mustn't make patients feel uncomfortable. Now it seems to me you've got 2 clashes here. You've got the medical orderly or doctor saying, well, I would feel uncomfortable if my face was exposed, and the patient saying, well, I feel uncomfortable because your face is covered. Who's right?
Well, that's exactly the point, is this needs to be taken on a case-by-case basis. Speak to the individuals, look at the patient.
Oh, but that's not what the government says. The government wants the GMC to draw up guidelines.
Yes, well, what I'm saying is that an employer is required by law to look at it on a case-by-case basis. To put in a policy, a blanket policy, is dangerous.
No, I don't agree with that at all. It's being done on a one-to-one basis and it's hopeless. This is a growing phenomenon, and I think we do need guidelines, because professionals in the education profession, in hospitals, in security, in police. There was a scene at the airport just this week that I saw, you know, where the poor official was absolutely flabbergasted because this woman wouldn't show her face. I'm sorry, we do need guidelines. I mean, I don't want police and banning laws and, you know, women being hounded, but everybody needs to know. We need to see faces.
But Jasmine, the guidelines cannot put a policy across because it doesn't accord with the human rights legislation or the current employment legislation. To put a policy in place which may not be necessary and appropriate in all circumstances, that's why cases need to be taken on a case-by-case basis.
No, we need guidelines, and guidelines are not laws. And within that, there can be negotiation. And I think we really need, you know, there is a problem. This is a society, and these women are removing themselves. We need to have this happen.
But see, you are coming down in the position, which many people do, of an anti-multicultural one. I mean, because in the end what you're saying is, this is our culture, you are taking part in our culture, therefore you've got to comply with our cultural norms. That's what you're saying, isn't it?
The multicultural society only works if we all compromise. We all give and take. There is a whole, there is such a thing as society, and these women and their families have an obligation, and they're taking away their own options. They can never be judges, they can never be surgeons. What are they doing with their own lives?
My point is, you know, if you say, well, you know, in my culture I feel uncomfortable that you're wearing a veil, you could go on and say, well, in my culture I feel uncomfortable about the colour of your skin.
No, I can't do anything about the colour of my skin, but I do have choices on how I dress. If I'd come to your programme, you know, dressed in completely inappropriate clothes for television, somebody here would have said,